Stay ready is the mentality birthed through the trials and triumphs of life as an NFL long snapper. Join me in conversations with teammates, mentors, friends, and family who helped me realize that stay ready is so much more. A deeply rooted principle of life in all things faith, family, and football. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Stay Ready, the podcast. I got my good buddy, probably one of the best personalities on air in the country. I got my boy Ray Slater from the Bobby Bone Show, aka Szn Raymundo, Coacher. Let's go. What do you go by these days, man? How you doing?
Dude, doing well. I go by like 30 names because I just keep it fun. I'm not a guy that goes by my birth name. My birth name's actually Raymond. Call me I love everybody has a different nickname for me. Like going back to high school, everybody calls me different stuff.
Yeah, and it's cool, man, because we met back in like 2017, maybe 20, when you first kind of came to Nashville to work for the show, and since then the show's obviously taken off like crazy, and I got that little unofficial internship that year when I spent the offseason out here in Nashville and got to spend some time with you behind the scenes because, man, like at the time you were grinding because the show's live. Right. Get to see you in your own element. You're in there at like 2, 3 a.m. getting ready for the show. Everyone else is in there at like 4:30, and man, for the 4 hours you're just nonstop. Would you say when the show's live?
I'm glad you noticed that. Yeah. I was the first one in there, but yeah, dude, it's always quiet in the early morning, so I just feel like that's when I do my best work. But yeah, it's hours, you know. But that's any good product you see on TV, radio. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes. You'd have no idea. Like this little podcast you have, crazy behind the scenes.
Oh, dude, we have like 20 people back there working on production and lighting and all that kind of stuff. But man, it's cool. I mean, what is your like job title for the show?
It's kind of embarrassing because I'm not that at all, but it's an audio engineer.
That sounds
which
awesome.
Is sick.
Yeah. Do you go to school for that?
For sure, yeah.
Yeah,
but to be called that, because there's engineer. I mean, people say that. Oh my gosh, but it's an insane job title. It really is way above me. I'm not an audio engineer. I basically just do creative stuff, find audio on the internet and rip it. Yeah. And do a couple loose ends here and there.
But over the years, you've also became like a personality and a staple on the show too, right?
A little bit. I mean, I'm not one of the main staples, but if you guys want to call me a staple, that's cool.
But you're a big part of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you come on every now and then. You have your little bits, you have your little segments. You chime in on things. You're hilarious as all ever, right?
Thanks, you.
And I mean, it's pretty cool to kind of see, you know, just how the show's evolved over the year. But you as like, I guess you can say a personality on the show's evolved as well too, because now people recognize you on the street. Yeah. Even though you're not, you know, in front of the camera on the show all the time. And dude, you're hilarious, man. So you need to be shown on that show because your personality just shines, man. And that's what I recognized, you know, when I was in the, what do you guys call it, the glass booth or
we call it.
Whatever. I mean, just behind.
We call it other words, but
But there's a handful of you that are back there doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff during the show. And I mean, so let's go back to when you first like met Bobby, just to get a little context of kind of how the past 10 years have been. Because, you know, obviously the Bobby Bone Show is a nationally syndicated show. It's recognized by a lot of people. You guys have the B team or, you know, huge fans, a lot of loyal followers. I mean, I even have people that tweet at me and put comments on my Instagram and, you need to go back to the Bobby Bone Show and you were great. And that's really cool. And even at games when we're playing, if I'm in a city that the show is like syndicated in, I've had people like yell out like, Sore Losers podcast or, you know, like stuff like that. And it's cool, man, because you guys have an incredible brand.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So you guys started actually not in Nashville. Right. Back in Austin, right? Yeah, so maybe just kind of give us a little background on how you met Bobby, you started with the show, and then your transition here to Nashville.
Yeah, I was just an intern. I was working at a sports station. I didn't even know the Bobby Bone Show was in the same building. Yeah. So I'm working with these sports guys, and I mean, it's an Austin show. It probably wasn't doing that great. It was an older guy on there, but he kind of did listen to my ideas, and he thought I was funny. So I got a little bit of input, and I'm like, dang, I can actually affect the show if I'm creative. And that's an important thing in life, man. There's a lot of people behind the scenes, and creatives actually make it writers, whether it's this, that, and the other, for scripts, for movies. if you're a writer and you're a creative, man, you can make some cash. So I started learning if you're creative, you'll get on the air. So I was pitching bits. I did a blog on the internet, and it actually blew out a little bit. I mean, there was like 10 people that read it. But anyways, so then I started getting talked about in the building.
Yeah.
And so then even the Bobby Bones show, before I was on the Bobby Bones show, I was known, I think they said like the good looking guy from the sports show.
Yeah.
So they started talking about me a little bit. And then just randomly one day I met Bones in the hallway, and he was like, "What's up, dude?" And then he came over and did a sports show.
Yeah.
And I was his producer, and he met me, and I think I made a little bit of an impression.
Yeah.
And then one day they needed a position filled, emailed me, rest is history. But I mean, there was like so many other things that like could have totally derailed my career. I mean, my internship ended.
Yeah.
But I just stayed in the building illegally.
Yeah.
Because I just had that point in time. I go, man, my internship ends in June. And I go, what if I just keep coming and don't tell anybody my internship ended, which is what I did for 2 years. And then HR's like, what are you still doing here? They're freaking out at me. But by then I'd gotten a position with Bones, and I finally started getting paid, which allowed me to stay in the building. I mean, we're talking a matter of weeks. I pulled it off, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, and then so then I met Bones. We're in the ATX in Austin, and then he got the call to go to Nashville to be a country show because we were top 40 there.
Yeah.
And then made the move across country in the Trailblazer, told all my friends, my girlfriend at the time. She heard about it on the radio. I gave the piece. I was like, my girlfriend at the time, she was on the treadmill at 24 Hour Fitness, and she heard the show was moving, and she just started crying and crying.
No way,
because we couldn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
And so then that was that. But yeah, within 2 weeks.
So how long before that did you know?
Probably months. But I mean,
that's significant though.
Yeah, but I couldn't tell any of my friends. Yeah. Nobody knew. It had to be totally top secret. So the people in my life that were the closest, out 24 hours, 48 hours.
Wow.
I know. It's a little more dramatic. I don't mean it to be dramatic, but it really was.
Yeah, man, that should be a reality show, man. Oh my God. So you obviously your relationship doesn't last with your girlfriend.
Right.
You guys make this abrupt, big move to Nashville. Had you ever been in Nashville at the time before to visit it?
Dude, I flew over it one time, and I remember my dad saying, "Oh, Nashville, yeah, there's crazy floods there." Little did I know my now wife was involved directly with that flood. Her whole apartment flooded.
Yeah.
Didn't know, was doing a connecting flight, and had never landed in Nashville, though.
Yeah. So you, Amy, was Lunchbox and Eddie?
Yep, Bones, everybody.
So everybody literally packed, even Mike D, right? Was he down in Austin at the time, too?
He was. He didn't move until like a couple years later, until we needed a creative position. But yeah, he was there too. So
most of the people here now all have those ties back to Austin. Mm-hmm. And what took you to Austin? Because you're not from Texas, right?
No, I went to school in Chicago, played baseball, got cut. I was a 2-week college baseball player.
Because you didn't wear those copper sleeves. You would have got more power. You would have got more.
The old man copper sleeves.
Oh my gosh, dude.
So, dude, it was. Sometimes these things just happen overnight in the weirdest ways. I mean, it's almost a God thing, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I woke up and I was like, man, I kind of want to move my whole life somewhere. So I pitched it to my parents. Can I move to Texas and go to school there? And I had a buddy that was moving to Texas State, which is near Austin.
Yeah.
And we moved. And that summer I applied, got accepted, got a flight. Never seen Texas before.
Yeah.
Took a flight to San Marcos, Texas. Graduated from Texas State, and then the natural migration is Austin, Houston, Dallas.
Okay.
And I just moved to Austin. Started the internship.
Yeah, and you went to school for what you do now, though.
I mean, I went to school for communication studies, but I actually had failed the class. That you had 3 chances to pass a grammar, spelling, and punctuation test.
Yeah.
I failed it 3 times. So I wasn't allowed. I was barred from taking any radio class in college.
And look at you now.
And I'm on the biggest radio show in the country.
Dude,
hilarious.
That's so cool. You need to go give a TED Talk on that, man. No, man. So that was what, 20 what?
That was 2013.
2013 that you guys all moved here to Nashville.
Yep.
And I met you about 3 years later. I had come on the show once. I have a mutual friend up in up in Indianapolis when I was at the Colts, and AC Calhoun, who knows Roderick, right?
Roderick.
And he said, hey, man, you need to go, when you're down in Nashville, go connect with this guy named Bobby Bones, who just now has a show. And I went down there. We probably briefly met, but I didn't get to know you a little bit better until I got the quote-unquote little unofficial internship in my off-season. And it was so cool that Bobby let me come in and kind of sit down and see how the behind-the-scenes things work. Because at the time, I had a general interest in radio because I was doing some country radio stuff with back in Indianapolis, and doing some sit-ins, on my days off. And I was like, man, this is pretty fun to get behind a mic and talk and bring like a football aspect to a show. And so kind of just pitched the idea to Bobby. At the time, I was actually looking for like a legit internship at CMT, but they wanted me to like go through all this paperwork and like training. I'm like, listen, I don't have this time, or like I'm not spending 40 hours a week there either. So Bobby's like, hey man, come in at like when you wake up and hang around, and it was just a cool experience.
The whole summer too.
Pretty off season. It was like March through like April, May, you know, and so probably 2 or 3 months I spent with you guys. But then outside of that, you and I kind of, you know, built a relationship and friendship, and got to meet Laura and Baser and whatever other nickname she has, because she has another
she's got a lot of names as well.
Oh man, so funny. You guys, I mean, honestly, as a couple, you guys just like light up a room.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, man. And you guys are so funny. You're the sweetest couple ever. And really, you know, like one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to bring you on the podcast and talk about kind of your story, not just your transition to Nashville, but talk about your relationship with Laura. And, you know, for the listeners on this who don't know your now wife, Laura, you know, she was diagnosed with breast cancer a few years ago.
Yep.
And so maybe just let's go back to maybe like how you and her met, like Tinder, right?
Yeah. My boy came to town, and then he hit her up on Tinder, and we hung out with her. We partied with him.
Yeah.
No drinking. We just partied.
Yeah. Maybe some Coca-Colas and stuff like that.
And he left town. He was just there for the weekend. I go, hey, dude, can you give me the phone number of that blonde?
Okay.
And he gave me her number, and she remembers the text.
Yeah.
I guess I texted her Monday when I was probably working for the Bobby Bone Show. I texted her, hey, want to talk?
Yeah.
That was all I said.
That was pretty serious, dude.
I know. And then we started dating, and then
that's so cool, man.
Yeah, within 6 months we were dating.
But you guys connected on Tinder and then hung out?
No. My buddy Billy got her on Tinder.
Oh,
then we met in person.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So they connected, and then you just slid in.
I was the first ever Tinder marriage, but I was the Tinder swipe marriage. I swiped her from my boy.
Oh my gosh, man. This is the stuff that we need to hear. But so you guys, so what year was that?
So it was in 2014, because it was a year after the show had been here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you guys obviously hit it off, and is this the time, are you living Lower Broadway at the time, or?
Yeah, I was the unofficial mayor of Lower Broadway from about 2014 all the way until 2018.
Yeah, and your old complex is now demolished, and the Four Seasons stands on top of it.
It does, dude.
I know. I just saw your little video from the other weekend. Like, it's crazy, the transformation down there.
Insane.
Yeah, but what does the mayor of Lower Broadway really mean? I mean, where did that come from?
It was really just that I knew the good spots to go to.
Yeah.
I was a frequenter down there.
Yeah.
A lot of spots knew me just because we were outgoing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then, I mean, people just started saying, man, the mayor's here.
Yeah, so you're like, hey, you kind of like boycotted Broadway, right? Like, screw Broadway, come down to Lower Broadway where...
It was right next to where we lived.
Yeah, exactly, right? But there's some cool stuff.
Exactly.
On like, what, First and Second Ave or whatever?
Second, because first is like it's
the
odd
riverfront.
That they don't take advantage of the riverfront.
Yeah.
Nobody goes on that side.
Yeah.
But it's second where all the discounts are, the great deals.
Famous is there. What's another one?
Well, George Jones was there but closed because of the bombing.
Okay.
So, but yeah, Famous is always crushing it down there, and then, on the corners, the what is the one? I don't know.
What was Acme? But that's not Lower.
Well, Acme's on Broadway, but no, Acme's lower.
Yeah. Okay.
Acme's lower. National Underground's lower.
Right.
I like.
What about Printer's Alley? Is that considered lower?
No. It could be.
Okay.
But that's off the beaten path. That's another.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it's just those spots tourists don't know about.
Yeah.
They all hit maybe top of Broadway, but lower's where it's at.
So when the B team comes into town for whatever reason, like, are they hitting you up like, hey, Mayor of Lower Broadway, where are we going? Like, recommendations.
Dude, I'm telling you, it could be a business. Just giving people recs.
Yeah.
And booking stuff, but I'd throw them some stuff for free.
But you and Baser are actually like probably Nashville's most up to date with like brunch spots too, right? You guys crush the Sunday brunch scene.
Yeah,
pretty consistently.
We do. We know the spots with the good DJs, stateside
and mimosas.
And but some of them they come and go, so you gotta always stay up with it. But yeah, we know about 5 really dope brunch spots.
Dude, you just have your pulse on everything. Dude.
I try to.
Yeah, gosh, man, and you're just kind of like the TMZ of country music too. Some. some stuff.
People on Music
that's
Row.
Down the pipeline, like coming.
They come to me and they say, hey, do you want this?
Yeah.
Do you want this information? I say, yeah. And then sometimes I say it on the radio, and then it just starts circulating.
Oh, my gosh, dude. You're hilarious.
I'm not proud of it.
Have you burned any bridges because of that?
No. It's all joking.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, we're like, I mean, my wife's, her dad works for Garth.
Okay.
Yeah, he works on his property. I mean, he's built stuff. I mean, they're like side by side. I mean, every day they're working together. So
that's cool.
But yeah, so my wife's just like, don't ever talk about Garth, and I was like, okay.
Well, speaking of G, I call him G because I feel like I know him through you. Is your bachelor party in Vegas, and I had no clue that your boy Jonathan was at the time his son-in-law.
Yeah. Okay.
And so we went to lunch after shooting guns and blowing up stuff, and you demolishing a car with the tractor, whatever it was.
They're like, take this forklift.
Yeah.
We've been hanging out all night till like 2 a.m. I'm like, you do not want me driving heavy machinery.
But it was awesome. But we go to lunch,
right?
And I remember like him mentioning, "Hey, lunch is on me. Lunch is on G." And at the time, it just flew over my head. I had no idea, right? And then we go to a nice dinner, like the last night in Vegas. So it's me, you, lunch, and a couple other buddies, right?
Yeah.
And we go to a nice dinner, sit-down dinner. It's kind of intimate. We got a little candle on the table and everything. And at the end of the meal, I just remember him saying, "Hey, this is on." Like, I got a text from G. Dinner's on G tonight. And I'm just like, dude, that's cool, man. Who's G? And then it kind of just spilled the beans. Like, yeah, my father-in-law is Garth Brooks. I'm like, what? Are you serious?
The whole trip.
Are you serious? G is buying my dinner tonight in Vegas? Dude, that was so. So I feel like I know G because he paid for my dinner one night.
What a nice guy. Yeah, he bought multiple meals that trip.
That is so cool. But Laura grew up around him because her dad and him are.
Well, and her grandma was the nanny of the Garth Brooks family.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they would fly when they flew internationally all over the place. She watched the kids.
Wow.
So she watched Allie and the other sisters.
That's very cool.
Right. And
now Allie's on her music career, right?
Right. Yeah. She's crushing it. She's about to blow up. So you guys watch out for that. Allie Colleen.
She's very, very talented. I went and saw her one night off of maybe the listening room or something like that, and she crushed it.
Yeah, she's playing a banger tonight. We're going to.
Nice, man. Yeah. You and Baze are going out on the town?
Hey, Lower Broadway.
Lower Broadway. Oh my, the mayor's back. Oh my gosh, man! You getting ready for CMA Fest too?
Yeah, we got that. There's like stuff we're doing because I got the side Sore Loser Show, the sports podcast.
Yeah.
So we're interviewing people with that, and then they got us playing in a softball game. But other than that, I'm just
I know. I hope I get to join you on the softball game. It's a lot of fun. I played in it last year with lunch.
Hey, I think with this podcast, you're maybe considered a celebrity again.
I mean, or an influencer or something.
But what are they gonna say? Are they gonna say NFL player? Are they gonna say podcaster? Are they gonna say a baseball card aficionado?
Aspiring influencer. Aspiring influencer.
He's opening up baseball cards every night of the week.
Up to the plate. Oh my god, it was wild last year. It was like Terry Bradshaw was kind of the host of it, and
heard he was wild time.
He tied one on a little bit, yeah. But anyway, man, let's get into like kind of the real thing that I want to talk to about is I mentioned briefly before that a few years ago, Laura just out of nowhere got diagnosed with breast cancer, right?
Right.
And I mean it's a very common thing, but it's also kind of uncommon with how young she is, right?
Uh-huh.
And I think most people can relate. They do have a connection with cancer in general. Obviously, breast cancer is a big thing too. My grandmother was diagnosed. I have friends and other family members who have gone through that and whatnot. And it's more common than I think we had thought. It's obviously Susan G. Komen's brought a lot of light to all that kind of stuff. And within the NFL, we dedicate literally like the month of October to breast cancer and all cancer awareness, stuff like that. So
that's sick.
But I just wanted to talk to you about kind of like your position at the time. It's like, as the boyfriend of Laura, like you get this news, you get this, massive adversity that just kind of hits home real quick, and kind of take me back to kind of what you remember going through, your thoughts, and, man, how did you deal with that, just the news, man?
Yeah, so it was 2014 we started dating. 2018, is when she came home, because she would go because cancer ran in her family.
Okay.
So she would get tested regularly, maybe every 6 months, maybe every year.
Yeah.
Well, this one time she went and she had a bolt-sized thing in her breast that she felt, and then got it tested, and they said, all right, we're going to take another look at this.
Okay.
In 2018. And so she came home on a Friday, and she was like, hey, I'm pretty sure if it's a bolt, it's cancer. And so we're on the internet, if it's a different feeling, but if you feel the bolt, that's cancer. And so we
So what do you mean by the bolt?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like literally a bolt that almost
it's
like
so hard, like
a screw.
Yeah.
And it has like ribs on it and stuff.
Okay.
If it's just like a ball, it's you can kind of squish it and stuff.
Okay.
And so I was on the side of her breast, and she's like, feel it. And I'm like, yeah, that's like a bolt screw.
Yeah.
Like, that's definitely hard and ribbed and stuff.
Yeah.
And so then that whole weekend, she's like, I got cancer.
Yeah.
So at that point, we didn't know how serious it was. Smash cut, it ended up being very serious.
Yeah.
And so she cried the whole weekend, and we tried to stay upbeat, but it's like, I was at the house with her the whole week. I mean, we didn't leave the house.
Yeah.
First weekend, never left Lower Broadway house. So we were just chilling at the apartment. Everybody outside is partying, having so much fun. It's a weekend in Nashville.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were just inside, and she just cried and cried. Like, oh, dude, it was nonstop. Just laid in bed, did not want to get up. But then, like, out of nowhere, I mean, it was like, so obviously we prayed too, we're like, you can get through this. Like, you got to wait till Monday, because that's, I think, when she was going to see the doctor.
Okay.
And so then on Monday, I mean, it was like almost Sunday night, she goes, hey, I'm done feeling sorry for myself. Yeah. And so then, boom, dude, that's what started it all. But then she went and found out the next day, cancer. And so then you start the steps, and it actually happens very quickly. Yeah. You organize the surgery, and they have it work. The hospital, they do an amazing job where they're going to, so we decided double mastectomy. She's going to lose both her breasts. Yeah. But now the way science is, modern technology, phenomenal. Yeah. They kept the nipples. Yeah. They give her a boob job. And I mean, I've told her they look better now than they did before, which is amazing. Yeah. And so there's a good doctor and a bad doctor. The bad doctor comes in and does the surgery. Okay. He's a good guy. Yeah. But for this story, bad doctor surgery, and I'm pretty sure the same day the good doctor comes in, restructures it. Okay. So they do it just like that, but in that process is when we found out it spread. It wasn't just her breast. Okay. It was in her lymph nodes. Oh, wow. And it actually, it had moved to stage 3. Okay. Which I believe, I mean, stage 4 is insanely tough on people. Stage 5, I mean, very bad. But stage 3 is really, really serious. But good news is they got all of it out, and it was, I mean, and so then she's going to start her chemo. So after you do that, the double mastectomy, then you do the radiation, the chemo. And so 2018, that whole summer, chemo was first, 14 rounds, I want to say, and radiation 25 rounds. So the chemo is the stuff they pump into your body. Yep. Touches the skin at 3rd-degree burns. Yeah. But it goes in your body and kills the cancer. Yeah. So, her parents went with her almost every time to that. Yeah. It was in the morning during the show. Yeah. My job would have given me off, but you fall so far behind. Yeah. And her parents, you were only allowed, it wasn't COVID, but you were only allowed to bring a couple people in. You can't bring a whole audience. Sure. So her dad would go with her, and it's just a serious process. Like, boom, you're chugging Gatorade, you're freezing. So you have, like, gloves on and all this stuff. So her dad would handle all that. She got tubes where she's bleeding. Yeah. Her dad had to rotate and change those out. Yeah. And so a little bit of it, she was at her parents' house. Yeah. And then she'd be back at the apartment. I'm taking care of her. And then that was chemo. And so then once we got through that, then we're on to radiation, which is where you go into a tube. Yeah. And it's like, I don't even know the science behind it, but your whole body is in this tube, and it's just like frying this stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's like
And how did she respond with the chemo in? Did she respond well with both?
Yeah, so loses her hair. Yeah. But she wanted to get ahead of it, and she went and got her hair cut with Allie. Okay. Yeah. So that was her maid of honor. Yeah. Forward. So we're still dating. We're boyfriend and girlfriend. Yeah. But yeah. So Allie went with her, and got her hair cut, and so she loses her hair and she gets a wig. Yep. And then that's when Garth and Trisha helped out, hooked her up with the wig.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, so, dude, it was so sad. Like, because the transition was, I mean, you didn't really see her bald. Yeah. I would forget all the time. Yeah. She never really wanted me to see her bald. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. But yeah, so then she's doing the radiation. But this is all in 2018, and then I mean, at the end of the summer, it was out, and so she was cancer free when she got the surgery, and then all that other stuff just tries to get some more stuff out. Yeah. But yeah. 25 of radiation and then 14 in chemo.
So full calendar year, would you say she was going through this treatment with radiation and chemo?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, and so obviously we're not going out. There's like, we kept it pretty positive, I would say.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, and what you realize in those times is Instagram and Twitter are good, but man, we didn't really even post much. We're just like, you have a new appreciation for life.
Yeah. Yeah. When did it become kind of public news, like through the show platform, that obviously you and Ray and Bay, right, became this like super power couple on the show, right?
Cult phenomenon.
Yeah, everyone's like, because they heckled you about not proposing for years.
Yes.
Right? This was this ongoing like skit that you just probably dragged out because it created drama, right?
It was 6 years.
Yeah,
dude. 6 years we dated for.
But it was all worth it.
But but then I broke it too. I think I texted Bone, told him, told Amy. Yeah. Pretty close because I just wanted him to know if I missed work.
Yeah.
You know, but then I told my boys, Eddie and Lunch, I sat him down. I was like, hey, Bazer's got cancer. So, yeah.
So the outpour of support that like now Laura was getting through those social media outlets like Twitter and Instagram, so that, would you say like the B team just came to the forefront with just encouragement and prayers? And I mean, was it shortly after you guys knew, or was this like down the road after she was kind of after surgery, kind of on her road to recovery, that you kind of let the show or the audience know that what was going on?
I don't think we never talked about it on the air.
Okay.
Yeah, we did it down the road. It got brought up.
Yeah.
During a Tell Me Something Good. Oh, and Ray's wife had to go through cancer.
Yeah.
I didn't really ever want it to be a show thing. It could have been, and you know what? But she did a blog.
Yeah.
And Tots Out of Cancer .blog. It's still there.
Yep.
If you want to scroll down, she's got the whole thing. There's pictures.
Yeah.
Any woman that's going through it. But yeah, we tried to remain upbeat. We loved on each other. You know, we prayed. I'd be like, hey, can I pray for you? You know, so we stayed positive. It's like we knew our life wasn't over.
Yeah.
And like so many good things through that. She realized she got a promotion at her job because she's like, I'm better than the front desk.
Yeah.
She has a corner office now.
Yeah.
So it's like we had a totally new appreciation for life.
Yeah.
And then once it was donezo. I mean, it's donezo. And then, we just celebrated 4 years cancer-free.
That's so cool, man.
But yeah, so 2018 and 2022 was 4 years.
That's so cool, man.
And 5 years is the mark. Once you reach 5 years, astronomical the success rate.
Yeah, it's like almost like cancer-free for the rest of your life, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I mean...
But yeah, so she the thing with that, her hair started growing back, you know, and so she was gaining that confidence. She never was without the wig, never. And I think she maybe one time let me see it when it was longer. I never saw her bald.
Yeah.
She never wanted, and she's a woman. I don't want to. I'm not gonna force her.
Yeah.
But as a guy, I'm like, I think you're hot bald.
Yeah.
Because she'd kind of show me, but she never showed me totally. That's why she took Allie.
Yeah.
You know, and I would have been the type of boyfriend. I'd be like, I'll shave my head, but she's like, stop being stupid. Like she wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, her hair started growing back, and then I got her to go back out on the town. You know, it's like stuff like that. It's like, you know, you gotta have that confidence, and and she'd get it back, and like day by day, she started getting it back, and it was so hot.
That's cool, man. Because at the time, how old are you and her at the time?
Well, I mean, it was 2018, 2019, so 4 years. I mean, we're in our early 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what are the statistics as far as like women at that age being diagnosed with a stage 3? Is it more common than people think?
Yeah, it's more common. I mean, she made this group of friends. What are they? The breasties? All these girls, exact same age, breast cancer. All of them lost both their breasts, had reconstructive surgery. Huge group.
Yeah.
All these guys I became friends with.
Yeah.
We created it. I mean, we still text to this day.
Yeah.
Keep up on Instagram.
Yeah.
But yeah, she found out there was so many girls in Nashville.
Really?
Her exact same age area.
Wow.
Breast cancer. And they're all doing great.
Yeah.
They're all killing life right now.
And then Laura, so Eric Dodds' wife, right? Where does she come up? She was her nurse?
Yeah, she was her nurse through chemo, I believe. Yeah, chemo. Radiation was that. But chemo, that's when I met Eric Dodds' wife. You know, Eric Dodds, my boy. We're songwriters together now.
Yeah, got a massive hit drop in the summer.
Yeah, hey, Vacation Part 2. Watch out for it.
Let's go.
But yeah, so I met Anna one day, and she's like, hey, how's it going on, Anna? And then it was in the chemo, and she was always, like, such a good vibe.
Yeah.
Like, my wife loved her, and she would be... It's like so cool. It was, they're very similar ages, I believe.
Yeah.
And they got along, and then the husband started hanging out, me and him, and then all of us, we're still friends to this day. They were in our wedding. He was my best man. She was a bridesmaid. Or he was my, in my lineup.
Yeah.
She was a maid of honor or whatever, or in the lineup.
But she, I mean, obviously built this friendship through the treatments, and now like lifelong best friends, right? There's an instant connection that they have together, and you and Eric. I mean, it's just cool to see like you said, the good things that come out of the situation, right?
Yeah, I mean, she said her relationship with her dad's never been better.
Yeah.
I mean, they talk all the time. I mean, before maybe they'd go a couple days a week without talking. Now they talk all the time.
Yeah.
You know, stuff becomes more special. You realize, like, the real stuff in life.
Yeah.
It sucked we had to go through that.
Oh, sure.
But, I mean, she looks phenomenal. I mean, dude, her hair is blonder and longer than it's ever been.
Yeah.
And every minute of it, I mean, she's like, I'm so appreciative of my hair. And
that's so cool.
Yeah, you lose something, you know, as superficial as hair.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I mean, yeah, and we always, well, I mean, it's crazy. Kind of just a couple other days ago, we got back into it with podcasts and stuff. Seeing a couple women going through breast cancer, and she was reliving it in her head and like kind of crying because she's like, I can't believe we went through that.
Yeah,
so
that's incredible, man. And maybe touch on the dynamic of a relationship, right? So you guys are dating at the time. And
just dating. I mean, we weren't even engaged.
Yeah, not even engaged. And she obviously has this, you know, massive news that she finds out on a Friday. She goes in for
a test
on Friday, and by Monday she's preparing for surgery, right? Yeah. I mean, within days, you know, everything kind of flips on its head, right? Mm-hmm. And massive transformation as far as like what you guys are about to embark on, not only her individually, but you as a couple. Mm-hmm. I mean, were there any times where like the relationship just had its struggles because of like, man, you like she needs you more than ever, you know, maybe she's, you know, leaning on her family more. I mean, was there any time where like there was any like difficult times just specifically to the relationship, or did it just make it all stronger?
Yeah, it was more steadfast than ever before.
Yeah.
I mean, the years when she always had that. The whole time we were dating, she had a bolt in her breast. I should have known it was there.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, dude, our relationship, we get in fights on the weekend, but when she had the breast cancer, there was no drinking. I mean, we didn't party at all. It was just me and her laying on a couch. We watched every season of Vanderpump Rules. Yeah, and our cat.
Pablo?
Yeah. Oh, Pablo. And I mean, dude, and you think boyfriends are supportive? I mean, that cat knew something was wrong with her.
Yeah.
He didn't leave her for 8 months.
Yeah.
But, dude, so yeah, we watched Vanderpump Rules every season. I mean, every weekend we'd just be there together. You know, we're praying more.
Yeah.
Life was I mean, we were so much closer. Never got in a fight.
Yeah.
Never got in a fight. I would go, you know, maybe like one time I'd go hang out with a friend or go play in an event or something.
Yeah.
You know, there was no worries. I didn't even want to go out afterwards. I just wanted to go home and see her.
Yeah.
But it sucked that she just didn't want to go anywhere. Yeah. Remember, you have no energy.
Yeah.
You got chemo running through her bones are a lot weaker to this day. She's building them back, but yeah, it just saps you.
Yeah.
So sometimes she'd be like, "No, go outside of the house," you know. But yeah, we had never been closer than that time, and I mean that's what led us to getting engaged a year later.
Yeah.
And marriage a year after that.
That's awesome, man. Was there any time that like just that fear of like possibly losing her would ever cross your mind?
No, dude, the toughest time was in the hospital when they were doing the surgery, and we go, okay, so she's doing the double mastectomy, she's getting her breasts removed, and the doctor goes, they healed beautifully. Yeah. I mean, they're like, you're going to be so amazed at how perfect, like, her boobs look. Hate to get into depth.
Yeah.
Because, dude, I always thought double mastectomy,
it's gone.
Women just have normal guy chests.
Well, it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
It used to be that way.
But then I learned. I didn't even know. I learned through the process. They come back like bikini models.
Yeah.
So it's a free surgery.
Yeah.
It's a free breast surgery. Terrible way to look at it. But anyways, and so then, but I was in the hospital, and then the doctor came out and goes, it was more serious than we thought.
Yeah.
It wasn't just her in her breast. It had moved to her armpits, that area.
And that's not good.
And that's not good at all. And you know, it was tough. It's just like, dude, I'm just like there with her parents, and we're just all like crying and stuff. It was bad.
Yeah. So I know when, you know, and I don't know much about like you and her's upbringing as far as like faith go.
Yeah.
You know, and this is podcast I love to share just like testimony and faith and whatnot. And in times of struggle, whether you're a believer or not, we tend to lean on something when we're faced with just incredible adversity. So in this moment, you mentioned praying, right? How did that just like, what did you guys start leaning on? What did you guys start praying about? I mean, did your faith just continue to, I mean, there was times where you just kind of, you got hit with doubt, or did it just like light your faith even more together as a couple and individually? I mean, can you speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, no, we're both Christians, and I mean, we probably weren't going to church as much as we should have before that. during the process, I mean, she didn't do much of anything. It just because she was didn't have any energy.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, dude, we were praying together.
Yeah.
And then the years that follow, I mean, then we would go to church more. I mean, just when we would pray together, it's really what helped us think that we were going to get through it.
Sure, absolutely.
Like, cause, and I would just tell her, I mean, like, you just got to believe that God's got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the cool thing was she was, I don't know. I mean, she would what I would tell her is I'd be like, hey, are you cool with me praying for you? And I mean, that was like a powerful moment.
Absolutely. So. Well, that's really cool to hear because I know for Bree and I, in our relationship, our marriage, like when we were dating early on, like we never prayed together at dinner or, I never prayed over her. But there is some powerful things that can happen in a relationship and transformation when you do start doing those things.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to hear that you did that for Laura. Because man, at the time you're just a boyfriend, and not to say that's insignificant by any means, but there could have been times where you just got scared and said, man, I don't know if I can handle this. And like, you could just dip out.
Right. I mean, and that's funny you bring that up because she would say it like joking, but I think sometimes she was serious. She'd be like, you can break up with me if you want. I'm like, are you nuts?
Yeah. But for the fact that you just like became even solid and just became like that person that she can lean on is incredible, man. It's a testament to your faith and your character and the man who you are. But I think a lot of guys at your age, man, would be incredibly discouraged and like freak out, and maybe that relationship would just kind of dwindle and fade away. But man,
you saying that so she made this friend group. Yeah. And there was a girl in there. The dude left.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's probably just the harsh reality of the situation. And I think it's just incredible, like I said, testament to you and just the man who you are and your character, man. Like just standing firm in that situation because even though physically she's going through what she's going through, like emotionally for you, could be really, really difficult. You mentioned that, your relationship got stronger through all this, and then for some people, unfortunately, like that relationship just kind of dwindles and fades away and there's a breakup, because it's hard going through that at a young age, and you guys are only dating at the time. But, there's a lot of, like you said, this is more common than we may believe with, women being diagnosed with breast cancer at such an early age. Maybe speak on like just the advice you'd give to another guy out there who his girlfriend's going through this, or they just found out some bad news. It doesn't have to be directly correlated to breast cancer, but maybe something that's, their girlfriend, spouse, or significant others going through, and just kind of the advice that you would give them, encouragement for, just in the moment, because it can be really, really difficult, and you've gone through that. So maybe just shed some light on that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the best thing to do is go to tatatacancer.blog. She's still got all her posts up there. Yeah. And scroll all the way down. Great plug. Yeah, it's still legit. And I actually was scrolling through the other day, like getting ready for this. And I mean, it was a flood of emotions. Yeah. There's a lot on there. And she does pictures and stuff of what she was going through. She really tried to be as real as possible. And it's crazy the scars that she had. But all those have disappeared, dude. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she's a blank canvas right now. Yeah. But and I mean, yeah, dude, she goes to the pool in a bikini. Yeah. Yeah, no, there's not one person there that would know she had breast cancer. Yeah. But my advice is to the guys out there, I mean, it's really like, you're the partying stops. Yeah. So, will it pick back up? It will. But we were in the hardcore of us dominating Lower Broadway. Yeah. We're trying to meet as many people, connect and it all just takes a halt. Yeah. But it has to, because she has to rest. Yeah. And there's so much quality time. I mean, we made the couch, we had a fold out, and we would fold it out right in front of the TV, and we'd talk, we'd watch TV. Dude, I learned... you
play Wii a lot? Would you still play Wii?
Yes. Yeah, that's my absolute favorite. Yeah. I still kill her at golf to this day. Yeah. Know that. But no, I learned good boyfriend stuff. So she would have me go run and get her food. There's no Uber Eats. Yeah. So I was Uber Eats. Yeah. So I learned if I'm getting ice cream at Baskin Robbins, you bring a little Yeti cup, you put the ice cream in it, it actually cools it just like it would a drink.
That's a veteran move.
So, here. Yeah. So, yeah, guys, you go and get that Yeti cup, you get her the ice cream, but she would have random requests because she'd have weird cravings and stuff. Yeah. I'd go get her food, and it was a really special time. Yeah. I mean, it's not like I was worn out. I believe she was going to work a lot. Yeah. She took a little bit of time off. Yeah. It halts your social life for a second.
For sure.
And it totally makes you rethink life. Good thing. Yeah. She got a promotion at her job. Amazing thing.
Yeah.
Because she just realized there's other, you can strive higher.
Yeah.
So there's so many good things that come out of it, but there is going to be some downtime.
Yeah.
Your friends are running the town. You got to chill for a second.
Yeah.
She's not going to look the exact same way she looked in a dress. To her, to me, she looked the exact same.
Yeah.
So, but to her, she's going to change for about 8 months.
Yeah.
After that 8 months.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. So it's just in the moment of the dark times, like when she's going through the heat of chemo and radiation, and she's extremely tired and weak, and I mean, like you said, your social life has to just be like, obviously it was a decision that you made, right?
Yeah.
You wanted to stay there with her. I'm sure that temptation, like, hey man, tonight sounds great for me just to get away from her, but for you to dedicate that time to spend with her and like you said, quality time together. I mean, the fact that you went through that stuff was very difficult, but I'm sure when you look back on it, like those may be some of the best memories that you and her will hold near to your heart for the rest of your lives, right?
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, we'd gone to so many Titans games before, when we were boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah.
So many Titans games nowadays.
Yeah.
So many of your Titans games.
Yeah.
So you traded us.
Yeah.
I went to another team.
That was not me. I was not re-signed.
But, I mean, the most powerful game we went to, it was right after all the radiation and cancer.
Yeah.
She had her wig on.
Yeah.
And, dude, she would just lose her breath. We were at the top of the... Damn.
Oh, man.
May not be able to tell it. Oh, man. But no, she damn, dude. We're like, so she loses her energy, You know how it is.
So she's walking up the stairs.
She's walking up the bridge, yeah. She's up the bridge and loses her breath.
Yeah.
And dude, like, thousands of people are going past us. Nobody knew what she was going through.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was like the most special moment ever.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, so it's those moments, man. I tell you what, man, like for you to be just open up and vulnerable in this moment, man, like I love you so much for that, man, because watching and just being an onlooker of the man you are, the relationship you have with Baser, like, bro, like you are her knight in shining armor in those moments. And obviously she's an angel to you, right?
Yes.
For so many reasons.
Yes.
But the fact
she yells at me nowadays.
And rightfully so. But I mean, it's like, bro, like the fact that like you take such an insignificant moment that most of us would not even remember in that moment. And like, you just reflected on that and it just brings you to tears, right? It's like, those are the moments that we just hold near and dear to our heart, man. And I just appreciate you like just allowing yourself to be vulnerable in this moment, man, sharing her story, but sharing your story too, man. And because it's a beautiful thing, and the story's not even over. And what came out of those dark days of the chemo and the treatments and the surgeries and the recoveries, you proposed.
Right.
You got married.
At a baseball stadium, video board.
Dude, you did it right, man.
Got married during a pandemic at a private chapel on the countryside with 40 of my closest friends.
Yes.
You would have been there if it wasn't for COVID.
I got cut from COVID. But still a little bitter, not at you at COVID. But anyway, no, like it's just incredibly cool, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. And that's why I wanted you on here, is because people know you as Szn Raymundo. Mm-hmm. You're the funny dude. You're the life of the party, because you really are. Like I said, you and her light up a room. I mean, you're hosting pool parties at your complex. There's been a few times we've gone out on Broadway where you may or may not have been kicked out of a bar just because you're just too rowdy, right? Like you are literally on stage stealing the mic from somebody trying to sing karaoke, and you're trying to. It's just hilarious, but like to come here today and to share this story and just like strip back some layers and like let people know kind of the struggles that you guys went through as a couple during that time is incredible, man. Yeah. And I just want to say thank you, bro.
Of course.
And because someone's listening, whether it's the girl going through something, I mean, heck, the guy could be going through something, and this is good, for the girlfriend to hear about how to support her man going through something, serious. So, and it's just really, really cool that you share your faith with, praying together, the power of that. I mean, just to see like how beautiful things can happen through a mess and through chaos and through just like incredibly difficult circumstances. And this is what I want this podcast to be about, is just to like, how can we inspire, encourage others through our testimony stories, man? So I appreciate you, and maybe some of the B team will get to know a little bit more about you as the man and at Laura of what you guys went through. but through your eyes, and it'd be cool to sit down with maybe her one day to kind of get that perspective on everything she went through, kind of maybe reliving her blog. But like I said, the story's not over, man. So what's give us an up-to-date of you and Laura and how's married life, and you guys made it through the pandemic with the wedding and everything, and you're not on Lower Broadway no more. So tell us about the Bluffs.
Yeah, so we moved to the west side. We got a beautiful view of the mountains, sunset, gully, river. Beautiful. It's so perfect. It's a penthouse view.
You need to follow him on Instagram because he literally has $1 million view almost every sunset.
But it's a rented $1 million view. But yeah, it is
still
so
$1 million view.
But yeah, at Szn Raymundo, and I try to post as many sunset pictures as possible. But we've been married now for a year, and we're living there. The housing market is unbelievable. So we're waiting for that bubble to burst.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do a house, white picket fence, 2.5 kids. And I'll probably die of a heart attack when I'm 72. But we're going to do that in years down the road.
So 0.5 is the cat?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So Pablo's still holding strong?
Dude, for whatever reason, she thought he was going to pass like 5 years ago. He's stronger than ever. You get a cat in the country, breathing in the fresh air. He's on the patio. He gets the sun every day.
Probably.
Eating mice, field mice.
Yeah.
One time an armadillo tried to kill him. He has never been better. Pablo will be with us forever.
Man, that's so cool, bros. But everything's going good with the show, and Bay's doing good at work. And
yeah, Bobby Bone show is awesome. Bay's, like I said, man, she's dominating Music Row. She's created a bigger name for herself on Music Row, and I got a microphone in front of me. So,
and what does she do?
So she works with a union that gets people paid. She's a budgeter. She runs a lot of office type stuff, runs the budget. It's probably how I was able to finally get my finances in order. But she does that for a company, and she does such a great job. And she still has time to follow Court TV, like the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial.
Oh, my gosh, man. I'm glad that's over. Oh, my goodness, dude. Well, I can't wait to crash your pool party and bring Bree and True over and man, hit Lower Broadway this summer. And man, check out the Sore Losers podcast because you guys crush it, man. It's hilarious. But I love you, bro. I'm really serious. I truly appreciate you coming and just being vulnerable with the story of just the breast cancer journey, man. And again, please watch or check out the blog, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, tatatacancer.blog. And it's all, you just scroll to the bottom.
Her whole story's right there.
Mm-hmm. And I got some cameos in there.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's at her lower times, you know.
For sure.
Some of those pictures, man, are emotional to see it. But you see her now, I have no idea that was even her.
Yeah, she looks incredible, man. She's doing great. And she's inspired so many people along with her journey because she did, I know there was a point in time where she was, kind of quiet and whatnot. But then once she really got that confidence, like, I'm going to kick this, in the rear and we're going to get through this. Like she's, probably inspired. So, cause I've seen the messages that she shares from just strangers. Like I'm going through this too. And thank you for, it's incredible to see that she's used her platform to really inspire other people that are going through difficult times, man. So, man, I love you, bro. Thank you so much, man. And,
dude, I wanted to come on here and just be vulnerable as possible. I had never really told this story on a microphone before. And so I knew that I was like, what are we coming over here to do? Talk sports? And you're like, Bay's cancer journey, and I was like
nothing
oh
about sports, man.
Gosh.
Yeah.
But I knew it would help somebody, so that was the goal.
No, I appreciate you, man. And so again, you and Bay, man, I can't wait to hang out with you guys. And again, just keep lighting up those rooms, man. Keep making the party more interesting.
Dude, I told you, pool invite is always open.
I'm coming, bro. I can't wait.
True, Bree, Matt, all coming into the house.
Doing cannonballs in the shallow end.
You got college kids pushing their kid. I'm like, dude, get your stroller away from those co-eds.
Oh my gosh,
they are
dude.
psycho.
Let's go. I can't wait, bro. But thanks again, and thanks for tuning into this episode, and stay ready for the next one. Thank you for tuning in to Stay Ready, the podcast. If you like today's episode, please comment below, like, and subscribe to our channel. I appreciate you all. We'll see you next time, and stay ready.